Hey there, and welcome to ACMG. This is Joshua Long here, and I'm going to be making another video game, actually, for this competition. I'm not really entering these games or anything like that. Just wanted, to streamline some processes and show you guys what it's like to make a video game. You know, the trials and errors, the different creation, the coding, sounds, music, all that kind of stuff. Right now, I actually cut out all of the previous work as far as getting graphics assets and stuff like that. I have already made a ton of different things, like there was the title screen, I have like the mission select, I have achievements, all that kind of thing already. So I got the interfaces, set up as I can. I got all the characters and stuff. Everything's organized into a folder, all called the Verge, and so I will already have the assets done. If I need to make any throughout the process, of course I will go in there and make them. The project has not been started yet, and that is why this creation screen is here, because I'm going to be starting from scratch making this game. There might be some snags or whatever, and I have to, go research something, but no worries. I will be playing music in the background as well. So for a lot of the down periods of time where I don't speak, there is going to be music playing. I apologize if you do not like, dubstep or bass music or whatever I may be playing. If that's the case, go ahead and switch to your own music. Uh, I have no issue if you're not listening to me, but I'm going to try to make this as easy to follow along as I can. And let's go ahead and get started. So the game's called The Verge, and this is an action adventure game. I want to focus more on puzzles and solving and things like that, and exploring rather than shooting. So that's my main focus, but it's going to turn out to be, some shooting and stuff involved. Let's go ahead and create the project, and let's begin. And actually, probably not going to listen to that. Let's listen to some instrumental. Yeah, there we go. Much better. Alright, so first thing we're going to take care of is obviously the title. And all those folders are in the Verge. So if you've watched the previous video, you can understand a lot of this stuff is similar in the beginning steps of creating a game, at least in Game Maker. Just taking care of all of the titles, background, and all that stuff. So. Make sure I got everything. Yeah. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure this press start kind of fades out and fades in. And this room is now going to be 320, 480 by 320. What is that? I have a setting here. It's 480 by 320. And a lot of the stuff I'm going to be doing is in 32 by 32, so this will be perfect. There's that sexy background of mine. Right. just to make sure, and I have to look something up real quick. Okay, we're good. So technically this is already a title screen. See, done. And when we press enter, we'll be going somewhere. Let's go ahead and get the mission selected here. Actually, it has an animation that we'll be disabling it, so that's why it's set up like that. There's going to be different game types, or game modes, or missions, or whatever you want to call them. One's arcade, and the other one's extract. In extract, you are going to be a plane trying to get out your team members, or whatever. And then the arcade mode is, you know, you're down on the ground trying to survive. I kind of want to add, you know, neat effects to the player and the plane whenever they're selected. And when we create this, we want to make sure that it doesn't have any animation, stuff like that, because it's for when it's selected, and we want to make sure that this is you know, the game type that they pick. So I'm going to kind of like create things as I go and make sure they work. That's how I usually get things prototyped pretty quick. Actually, and I go all over the place when I'm actually making a game with no like direction or whatever or plan. So like for instance, right now I noticed that in my mission arcade I was going to do a game type variable, but instead of declaring it in this local one, I want to actually make another object that I can store global variables in, so that I can use these variables throughout the game, you know, such as score, health, what mission type we're on, that kind of thing. And it doesn't even need a sprite, it's just there for its create event. And it's going to be global.mission type, and the default's going to be arcade. And you know what? That's all I need right now. I was thinking this could eventually be like a two-player or something, and I could put global variables or local variables for the player. So. This is where I make my changes. So mission type 0 is arcade, and 1 is going to be extract. And I like to comment everything so I can reference back to it later. That's not going to work. This will, though. All I'm doing here is making sure that the correct mission type is here. And actually I don't need an else if. But it does need to change the other one. So I'm going to put a comment in here. I'll just put them retarded. I don't even need that. I'm trying to keep up with the comments, but it probably won't happen. Just so you know. Alright, so what's going to happen actually is on the hover it's going to change that image index. That's what I was going to be doing. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking there was like a continue button or something, but no, it's when you click it, that's what game type you choose. I don't have it yet. It's in there though. So here I'm just setting up the back button so that it goes back to tile screen whenever it's clicked. Make sure we can get to our mission select room. Alright, so everything should work up to the missions. Maybe tone this down a little bit, kind of loud. Definitely got to change the depth on these. Alright, just tone these down a bit. Make sure we add some sound to that button press, just make sure everything flows nicely. Okay. Alrighty then. This is probably very unnecessary, but it might help in the future. Alright, let's start getting in our tile set and make our first level for the arcade mode. Actually, we're going to create this player from a... yeah, we're going to create him from a strip. Just make sure it's in the right section. Yeah. This will be him shooting, so. What am I doing? Just wanted to delete the rest of these. Okay. This is... this is where the player gets hit. Put the player's bullets in here. Oh yeah, that's right, I gotta create one. Let's add a special first. Alright. Bullets. So 16 by 16, huh? This is gonna be like shotgun BBs anyways, so... That? It's like orange and yellow. No! Just had the perfect orange. Definitely needs... No. Yeah. No, that's good. That's definitely good. Okay. Bowler. It's a bowler. Seems a little complex. This is the fun of making stuff. like it needs to be a lot smaller. Gosh. This is gonna be fun. Interesting and fun. Alright, so we got the player, we got bullets. Let's just get the player on the screen shooting so we can figure out what this looks like. And then whenever left is pressed, we'll use the mouse to aim. That'll spawn the bullet after we get it created. And when the animation ends, we're going to put him back to what he was originally. So sprite index. And this takes care of, like, so the sprite index is, you know, what the sprite looks like, whereas the image index is the image inside the sprites. I know it sounds complicated, but okay, it kind of is. Image is, for instance, these are different image indexes. And then the sprite is the actual sprite itself. Just so you guys get that clear. I'm not going to worry about it destroying, but I will worry about when it gets added, it should just speed off. And then let's add a test room in here. Always have a test room. And these boxes here, I actually have them saved as separate images, so I'm going to use these boxes as like objects and stuff that can be breakable, that kind of thing. It's going to be neat. Let's go ahead and set up a wall. Make this a very limited test room for the player. Alright, this will kind of give the player a chance to fire off some rounds. Oh, my help. I have no way of getting to this room, so I'm going to go ahead and close that again. Make sure I have everything saved. I'm just going to bring this straight up to the top. I had this weird feeling he's supposed to be the opposite way. I think he's supposed to be leaned over. That's funny. Yeah, it's definitely supposed to be the leaned over one. This one needs to be reversed. So like he's shooting. That makes more sense. Come on, Josh. And I'm pretty sure that one's okay. Yeah, we're good. Alright, let's see what it looks like, and then we'll do the bullet thing. That was funny. I was like, wait, that doesn't look like he's shooting. It looks like he's like leaning forward. Yeah, much better. Okay. I'm going to change this to a global left press. Let's create this. There's a script out there to get like the end of the gun. Which I may end up doing, or I may just put the starting position. No, I can't do that because I won't rotate. I'll get the script for it. How about we create this at his actual X and Y position? What is that? See how that leaves that? Oh boy, this is going to be a fun little project, huh? That was interesting. Okay. And let's just create the y value 2. Sorry, y plus 2. And then x plus 5. Let's see what that looks like. It should shoot out of the gun area, so a little bit further down. So y plus 3. Fine. Y plus 4. Okay. So that's good to go. Let's start getting some movement on the player. And I'm going to use WASD because it is just, it's so well commonly known for the gamers group. But we're going to make sure to like state it in like a little tutorial type thing just so they know how to move. So let's see. Should we use motion? No, let's just use X and Y's and stuff like that. And let's go ahead and add some variables for the players. So we're going to want movement, score, health, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to rearrange these just for my sake. Clip. I have 10, and the ammo itself will have 40, so that's, 4 reloads. And then should be good for now. Takes a whole second to reload. Let's do 2 seconds to reload. And then shot delay. This will be the interval in between shots. Let's get W and S taken care of so we can move up and down. I'm going to change these to just a key. And what that does is instead of on the key press or key down event, this is actually when the key is being held down. So. And of course we're going to take care of left and right, which are going to be A and D. So it should have full range of motion now. Alright, let's go ahead and replace the mouse just to give it a little bit better feel, I guess. And this is the one where we keep it with the mouse at all times. Let's go grab something to drink real quick. Lots and lots of water consumed at this desk. Water's good. Okay. So now we should have a little aiming cursor here. If we actually create it. And then we also have to change the global game settings on here too. So might as well take care of this, right? It's a really big target, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, next order of business is get the player to follow. Actually, that would be just follow the mouse. I don't know how to do this. Let's see, image angle equals... point towards, that's it. No. Point, follow... Gosh dang it. Google, help me. It's point direction, come on. And this will be... Yeah? Alright. I don't know. This should work. Okay. And you know what's awesome about that being a ball is it to go towards the mouse itself. So on the create, let's do move towards point, and this is going to be mouse X and mouse Y at a speed of, I'm liking the 12 for now. So, shoot. And just for the sake of using that special, I'm going to try to aim this towards that. So, object there dot. I didn't mean that. Okay. I mean, it's a ball, so I guess it doesn't matter at this second. But I'm going to try this out. Whoa, 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 whoa. None of that. Clicking outside the screen. Ah, where'd my player go? I have no idea. Alright. Next thing is to get it to shoot from the tip of the gun. So I'm getting into my game maker language references over here on Google. So So what's happening here is we're going to create an instance of this bullet, and we're going to actually set the bullet equal to the place of where it's going to shoot, and then it's going to set the speed and the direction of that bullet, so we don't actually have to set it in here. So the bullet's just a vessel at this point. So let's set this up. Might work. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe the length is 5. Let's try this. Instance create X. I don't know. Direction. Had this problem before in one of my tutorials. Alright. Yay! Alright, I'm gonna add spaces to all this stuff because it's so messy to me. Alright. Gave it some speed. I think the Y actually needs to be a little bit more. I put 5, 7, 7 sounds good. And length direction kind of... what that does is length direction is the distance for that. And it might be the X that needs to be changed. It might be too much. I don't know. I'm going to just do a drastic change just to test it. And this is how the testing goes. I mean, you just plug in values and try to figure stuff out. Let's try 4. I'm going to put 1 here just to test. Because I don't know if it's looking for this X or Y or what. Okay, so it looks like the Y needs to go up. That was correct. 8 for that. We'll check out the X. Okay, so the X needs to be like 6. It's a little bit different from our original values. No. Gosh dang it. I need to do like drastic values to make sure I got the right direction going. See, yeah, that's not right. Okay, so when he's on the X, it's right about there. Five and 5. I don't... What? I may have to do a little bit of research real quick. The only one that's not right is on the up. Alright, let me just check into this real quick. The length direction. Alright, so I have another project from way back when that I'm going to try looking at. Let me just go ahead and try this real quick. I don't know where it is, but I will find it. It's called The Elite. Once I get that game up, I'll show the screen again. so let me find it in my player. I have it where he shoots out in the right place. It's right here. See, that's what I keep forgetting, is that part. Where did it go? There it is. Much cleaner code. I knew I did this before. Alright, so I need length Y and length X, and this is going to be bullet basic. Alright. Let players create event. Yes, yes, I've made a top-down shooter before. And boy, are they fun. Alright, so I think the X is only 5 and the Y is 5, we'll say. Haha, I got that speed. Because the other one, I didn't have a speed variable. Boom, done. So yeah, stealing code from other projects is definitely a good idea. It was an old project I made for a prototyping class I did, so. Okay, that works. We got movement, we got ammo, all that stuff. Now let's go ahead and set it up so that they can only shoot at a certain time. I forgot what the variable name was. Can shoot. 1 means that he can shoot. No, I did not delete all of it, don't worry. And then there's going to even be more if statements checking the ammo, if he's reloading, all that kind of stuff. May or may not actually add that, since it's, you know, a small game, so we'll see. So let's see, waiting for the delay. Let's put the alarm 0 equal to our shoot delay, I think it was. Let me get the exact variable for that. Shot delay. This way everything's in a variable. So it's going to be p bullet speed, and I'm going to make this a variable. Now I should only be able to shoot every so often. Maybe. Can't shoot. Oh. Gotta make sure the player can't shoot. See? Okay. And then let's do a global right press. Global right press. There we go. And I have a mine that I want to add in this. Actually, I'm going to have an achievement for that, so I'll make sure there's only 5. You know what? No. I'm going to add an effect for it. Let's first change this color. Shrink it. And let's add a reverse. And then we want it to disappear. This doesn't look right. Animation, disappear. I don't like that. Let's just keep it at that one. I like that. That's good. Alright, so there's the mine, and there's the explosion, and I gotta create it. Let's create the mine, and let's create the explosion itself. So let's make sure the player can drop a mine. So this is just going to get created right where he's at. And when the mine gets created, it'll have its own timer or whatever. Yeah, let's just do something short so that we can test this out. So So what happens here is we create the explosion and we destroy the mine so that it goes. Alright. And then on the object explosion, we're going to do at the end of his animation, we're just going to destroy it. And there's something in here, just you can drag that on, destroy itself. Instead of coding that in all the time. So shooting works, dropping a mine. Yeah, works for me. All right. We can actually do this, so this way we can have other things destroy it. We can set up a controlled explosion kind of deal. So, actually, when p explode equals 1, we then call the explosion. So, and all the alarm does is it will explode on its own if nothing else takes care of it. So I can set this timer to something 240. I can set it to a really large timer, and then when a bullet hits it, it will make it explode. And the way we're going to do this is if it collides with a bullet, then just execute this code and make it explode. If it collides with an explosion, if it collides with an explosion, blow it up. So here's one mine, here's two, here's 3, 4, 5, and then we'll shoot it with a bullet. See how it exploded? Now if we shoot one, it can trigger them all off if they have it set up. So like if I were to, let's just shoot these two. See? Or we can let it just sit there and let it explode on its own. See? Cool beans, huh? Alright, and whenever the bullet runs into a mine, we want to destroy itself. Yeah, we should be good. So this way it can't like chain gun through all the mines and just destroy them all. So if we went like this, it's going to stop at the first one, but all of them are going to get destroyed. But if I placed them in a line, it would only shoot the first one. And we don't want bullets traveling all the way across the map, do we? Well, I'm sure we do, but I don't want them to. So I'm going to set a life on the bullet. So, let's keep it on the screen for 20. 10, just to see if we can get that effect. So and we'll just set it for an alarm instead of an actual variable. So when that happens, destroy it. So the bullet should make it across the entire map. It should be within range. So I can't shoot a mine from across the map and get my awesome kills. I have to be up close. Cool, huh? So now we're already getting, you know, a decent top-down game created. And at this point, I'm actually going to stop and take a little break and just make this part 1. I know these videos are a little bit long, but it's, you know, the game creation process, and if you want to sit through and watch it and, you know, learn how to make a game, it's, you know, more power to you. But for right now, let's take a break, and then you guys, whenever you're ready, continue on to part 2 with me. Catch you guys in a little bit.